Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Entertainment Brick Show. Today we are back talking about DC. We're also back talking about modulars. In this video, I'm going to be talking about if Marvel's getting modular sets, why not DC, and what DC modular sets could we get? I have a list of 3 ideas for I think some pretty cool modular sets that I think would work really well. And I just want to share them with you, basically, because as you probably know, if you're a LEGO fan of Marvel or the superhero, whatever, LEGO Marvel has been getting some pretty solid D2C sets. They got in the Daily Bugle, which was a really amazing set. I have that set. They also have the Sanctum Sanctorum, another pretty solid D2C modular set that I also do own. And now there is a rumored and mostly confirmed Avengers Tower modular D2C set that I'm contemplating getting, because it's very expensive. But Marvel has been dipping into the modular building system to basically make, these iconic Marvel locations as modular buildings to connect them all together. And I love that idea. It's such a great idea. But DC, as DC is continuing on with their D2Cs every year, I want to see some modular. I want to see them dip into some modular stuff as well, because I think that could really benefit them as for some of them, as similar to Marvel, some iconic locations that were made into modulars that you can just connect them all together. I love that idea. So again, the Marvel modulars so far are the Daily Bugle, Sanctum Sanctorum, and the Avengers Tower, all of which are either like $250 and above, up until like $530, and they're very solid sets. Clearly, DC has not gotten any modular sets for any locations from the entire DC Comics line, and I just want to get some just like Marvel's getting some. So one DC modular set and one Marvel modular set a year, I think could work very well. You have in the beginning of the year, maybe like springtime, early summer, you have a DC D2C modular set for, let's just say, $250. Let's just say it's, some $250 building. And then at the end of the year, kind of like, October, November, December, you get a Marvel modular, whether that be $250 or more. I would love that idea. I think it's a great idea. I would love to see that. I mean, Marvel has recently been getting, I think, a lot of modulars per year, like more than one modular per year. I think they released the Hulkbuster, Black Panther, and the Sanctum Sanctorum all in one year, I believe, which is fine. That's fine. But I want DC to also get, that similar love, at least with one modular set per year, or one D2C modular set per year. So, again, one DC modular set in the beginning of the year, one Marvel modular set at the end of the year, I think could be really amazing. I would love to see that. I think it would work really well. But for the DC modulars, here are just some ideas that I had that I wanted to kind of go over. The first one here is a DC modular, Daily Planet. Similar to the Daily Bugle, but probably much smaller. Instead of being a $400 set, it would be more like a $250 set, more in line with the typical modular size and style. So it'll be a full work area with offices. You have different offices for like Clark, Lois, Perry White, maybe Jimmy Olsen gets a little like cubicle or something like that. And then you could also have like a waiting area at the bottom, a waiting room area. You could have, again, like I said, Clark Kent's office, Lois Lane's office. Minifigures could be Clark Kent, Superman, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, a couple of villains, couple of random people just to kind of populate the office building. Have it be like 8 to 10 minifigures. I think this could be amazing. I think this could be a really cool idea. Set. Have the roof be the actual roof, and then the Daily Planet build, like the actual build for the planet. I think it'd be really cool, which you could put some, more pieces towards. So I would love to see this set come into fruition. I think this would probably be a great start for a set, because not only are you getting different characters than just Batman and Joker, but you'd also be getting a fairly, decently known area in the DC space, and it would also, be a great contender with the Daily Bugle as well from Marvel. So I think it would be a really cool modular set to have sometime in the future. But anyways, next modular set, if you want to kind of go the Batman route a little bit more and kind of play it a little bit safer, I think they could make a modular building style Ace Chemicals. closer to the typical 3-story modular, kind of building. The first level would have a bunch of acid vats and, some like, I think they're called catwalks. I'm just going to call them walkways. I don't remember what they are, but like the walkways that have like railings on the side that you can kind of look over the vats, whatever. And they would have like, I think they're called catwalks. Catwalks above that you can kind of, have minifigures stand on looking over the vats of acid. And then you would also have maybe like one of the two floor, like one or one, hold on. Walkways above that would probably only have one of two floors, but the floors would be large enough to fit larger vats. Oh, yeah, okay, so my notes are confusing, obviously. So instead of having like a 3-story modular, it would be more like a 2-story modular with just having the first floor be large enough for some vats of acid, right? And then you like the second floor, where the second floor would be like where the walkways would be, the catwalks would be, and then the actual third floor of the building would maybe be like an office building, like some offices for just like random minifigures who own the Ace Chemicals building, and then it would be like a roof build, obviously, as well. So, anyways, I think on the roof as well, they could be like a large built-out Ace Chemicals sign, on the top, kind of like what they did with the Daily Bugle, except you just have to write out more letters here. So I think that could be kind of cool, and you could, if the sign's kind of too big, I think getting rid of that entire second floor, I think you could put those pieces towards building the sign out, towards making the bottom floor big enough for the acid vats and such. I think it could work very well. And then for some minifigures, I think it could be Batman, Joker, obviously, because every DC set needs Batman and Joker in it. Then maybe some more obscure Batman villains, as well as some civilian worker kind of characters who can work at Ace Chemicals. So I think that could be a really cool modular if you want to kind of go with the Batman route. And I also think it's a really cool building and a notable building, enough to the point where, like, let's make a modular out of it, and you can kind of add it to your Gotham City modular build-out. Then the final option that I think is never going to happen in a million years, even though I would absolutely kill for it, and I'm kidding, by the way, is a modular, or I guess in any sense, but modular in this case, modular Hall of Justice. Oh man, this would be so cool. I mean, I think this would be similar to the Ninjago modular sets, and maybe even the Daily Bugle modular set, where it'd be a much larger scale modular set than the typical, right? The typical is like a $230 set, $230 kind of modular set with a, 3-story building and a roof, right? That's kind of like the typical style. In previous years, they've done like full, like streetways with multiple buildings. One that's coming to mind is the detective's office. It's kind of like a larger, wider build, instead of like the closer, kind of tighter build up vertical kind of building, which I do prefer. But in this case, I feel like it could benefit from having a larger base, which can be kind of built up and around. Instead of being kind of a tall building, it'd be more of a wide building. And I was thinking just like a random price point. I said like closer, instead of the $230, it would be like $370 to $400 modular. Like this would be a bigger modular set. Again, similar to the style of Ninjago with like the Ninjago City docks, for instance. That was a modular set, but it was wider, right? And then with the most recent Ninjago City modular set, it was a little bit more wider than vertical, although that set was massive. But anyways, $370 to $400 modular set, right? And it'd be just a massively detailed set with much larger than the typical modular, right? Tons of details. It would have the nice white coloring on the Hall of Justice exterior with the sign, you know what I mean? With the sign that says Hall of Justice and like the wide doors and stuff. And I was thinking in the front, maybe they could have like a little bit of like a Superman statue kind of set up, maybe some more statues for the other members of the Justice League. I don't think they would do every member of the Justice League, but it would be like where, how like with modulars they have like some space for the street, you know what I mean, like the sidewalk and like the street sidewalk way. And instead of having that, it would more focus on a Superman statue that kind of stands in front, and maybe even like a Batman statue and a Wonder Woman statue as well, like the main Trinity. And I think that could be really cool, and like a nice like fountain around it and stuff. But anyways, and then the interior, I don't think it would be too crazy of an interior. It would just have a lot of like references and details, kind of like how like the Seinfeld set, the Friends sets have a lot of details and references. That's what I would love to see for this kind of Hall of Justice. But it would be, just kind of like more simple rooms. It would have the nice meeting room in the middle that all the Justice League members could sit at like a large table. It would also have rooms for each Justice League member, I'm thinking. And I'm just thinking for the Justice League, it would be like a typical 7 members. There'd be like a room for Superman, room for Wonder Woman, room for Batman, Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman, and Green Lantern. Let's just say that. Let's just say those are my 7 picks for my Justice League. It would have all rooms for each one of those, and each room would just be chock full of references to other characters, other things in the DC world. So, like, for instance, the Batman room, it would have, like, a picture of, like, the Bat family above, like, his bed or something. And for the Superman room, it would be, like, a little model of Krypton, you know what I mean? Kind of like the Brainiac style, sort of. With Wonder Woman, it could be, like, it could be in the style of Themyscira or something. I don't know. You kind of get the gist. It would be specific rooms would have specific references that I think could be really cool. And that would kind of like populate the Justice League building. And then obviously, like I said, like a meeting room in the middle. And for the figures, I was thinking like a ton. I was thinking more like Daily Bugle style where there's like 20 to 25 minifigures in the set, just considering the $400 price point. And also there's just so many options, right? You could have like 8 to 10 Justice League members or minifigures. Martian Manhunter, Cyborg, Flash, Green Arrow, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, like tons of options, as well as the same amount, 8 to 10, like villain characters. Joker, Black Manta, Ares, I think could be kind of a cool, unique, exclusive minifigure for Wonder Woman. Then you could have like, I don't even know, who's a Cyborg villain? Grid, I think could be kind of cool. Green Arrow, who'd be a Green Arrow villain? I don't know, one of the Green Arrow villains from Arrow. Flash, you could have like Zoom, Godspeed. I was going to say Reverse Flash. We already got Reverse Flash. But anyways, point is, tons of minifigures to populate this set I think could be really cool. And yeah, that was my idea for like a modular Justice League. But regardless, there are tons of great options for DC modular sets to go alongside these Marvel modular sets that release, and they could release, every year. And maybe even trade with the price points. So, maybe one year the Marvel modular set is like $400 and the DC modular set's like $250. And then the next year, the Marvel modular set's $250, the DC modular set's $400. You get the gist. But basically, tons of modular sets for DC, and there's tons of options. I would love to see them happen in the future. I don't think they will happen in the future, unfortunately, but I would love to see it. So, there you have it. If you enjoyed that video, do the comment stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.